Hi and welcome back to the shop. This is Ryan. Today we're going to make this dog bowl stand. This is a quick, simple, easy project to make, and I have plans available for you to download. The wood I'm using here is some quarter sawn white oak and some red oak. This is some pretty cool wood that came off an old timer that I bought it from. The majority of this I used on a dining room table, and the rest of it is free to use on some small projects like this. It's pretty ugly, it's been sitting out in the weather, but I went ahead and roughly jointed it on my table saw. Then I was able to move it over to the drum sander and get those years of grime off of there and make it look nice and pretty again. So I'm not too worried about making these dead flat and jointed on all the sides. I'm able to do a pretty good job between the drum sander and my table saw to get these in good working order and be able to make it square for the dog bowl stand. And this would be a good time to mention I do have a set of plans available for you to follow along, so definitely check those out if you're interested in making a set for yourself. And I do apologize for my camera spazzing out during this whole build. And now that I have everything rough sanded and rough cut, I'm going to go ahead and join my two pieces. Here, I'm just using some quick and thick. This does not add any strength, obviously. These are two 1.5 inch pieces of white oak. So it's definitely overkill structurally, so I'm not too worried about that. And I'm going to clamp it up and let it dry. Here I'm just attaching the sides. This is red oak with some brad nails. And then the rest of this I'm using type on 3, and I'm going to go ahead and throw it in some clamps for a little while I do some more machining. And again, I'm just going to drive some brad nails through here to hold it in place. The brad nails aren't really an eyesore for me on this. I could have covered them up and hidden them, but so now I'm moving over to the top to cut my holes for the dog bowls. I'm cutting the hole just so that it will sit inside of the rim, and the rim will be on the outside sitting on the plywood. So I'm just using a jigsaw here and cutting the circles. It's not critical you have a perfect circle here. Your dog bowls will be covering up any kind of imperfections you might have here. So just cut them out as good as you can, then hit them with some sandpaper to knock off all the edges, and just move on from there. You'll want to make your holes, obviously for the set of dog bowls that you buy. These were some that I just bought at Walmart. So you'll want to measure how wide they are inside of the lip, so that the outside of the lip will hold onto the top. So here I'm pre-drilling for my screws with the countersink. And putting some number 10 2.5 inch screws through. See some nice smoke. My white oak really likes to heat up my drill bits. This is a good view of the leg. If you need to make yours a little bit shorter for your dogs, it's very easy to do. Just make that piece a little bit shorter, and you'll be able to change the height for them. You'll notice here there's a recess in the leg and the top brace. That's to allow your dog bowl stands to sink into the top without interfering with that leg. I wanted to make these pretty close together, so I didn't want to have a big spacing there and making this too big. I got the top out of clamps, and now I'm ready to assemble it to the legs here. Again, some quick and thick. Set it on there and get it spaced nicely. Just make sure your legs are all the way against the edge and square. Then I'm just putting some weight on it and making sure that the legs are all the way to the edges, and then I tacked it in with another brad nail. Now I'm going to do my final sanding. I'm going up to 180 grit right here, and I'm going to try and get as much as I can with my random orbital sander, and then just do the rest by hand. And I'm going ahead and doing a little bit of a round over just to knock down all the edges. so that they can get beaten up a little bit and not knock off any corners. I wanted to give it that farmhouse look, so I went ahead and attached some feet and glued and brad nailed them on. This Ryobi brad nailer is actually pretty impressive. That is 2-inch brad nails going through white oak. So here's my favorite part of the build. I'm adding the finish. I'm using Danish oil here, and it really helps make this quarter sawn white oak and red oak really pop. This was an absolute easy finish to use. Just wipe it on and wipe it off. I put 3 coats on, and to this day, it's still looking great. If your stands are going to have water in them or wet foods, you might want to use something more like a polyurethane to give a little bit more protection against wetness. So guys, that's a wrap for this build. As you can see, this is my doodle. We call him a double doodle because he is a half golden doodle, half labradoodle. He's 100 pounds. But I also have a standard poodle, and they both will fit to this raised dog bowl stand really well. So it was a lot of fun. This was a great project to do. You can do this with just a limited amount of tools and just a little bit of time on your hands. I would imagine you could do this in 4 hours out of regular dimensional lumber. And stain it, paint it, make it look however you like. And you'll have a happy dog like I do here. Just give them a little treat. So, I appreciate y'all watching this video. Your support is incredibly important. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you think about it, and I'll see you next time. Be sure to check out the plans I have ready for download.